Aaron Smith-Levin from Growing Up in Scientology is under attack. We're also going to talk about some current protest news and some really interesting ways that Scientology is being exposed in real time on the internet. Hello, big aloha to everybody. Welcome. I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about Scientology culty things, my 35 years in this cult, and leaving with 3 generations of my family. Thank you to everybody in the live chat for being here. Big mahalo to the members and, of course, the moderators for helping out today. Oh, my goodness, we have so much to go over. Aloha, 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 everybody. Marilyn, good to see you there. I love the alohas in the morning. I think it's a great way to kick off a day. Oh, hey, Rika, good to see you. Scientology up north, we are going to be looking at a clip of yours. Farrell Cheryl, good to see you. Aloha to everybody. Let's jump into a couple things here. First with a little funny, with a little hee hee ha ha. Y'all remember the Tom Cruise turtleneck video that kind of kicked off the anonymous protest back in the day where he was just with that maniacal laughter and the turtleneck, and we are the only ones with the solution. We are the only ones who can help people. If you're in a car accident, you better hope Tom Cruise or a Scientologist are nearby to help you. Well, it turns out that video was the fake video. And this video I'm about to show you is the real video.
We can rehabilitate criminals and get them to work for us by getting them to suppress free speech. And they said, well, have you met an SP? And I looked at them and I thought, whoa, well, what a beautiful thing, because
you see the L. Con Hubbard book over there too, Diarrhea.
maybe one day it will be like that. Wow, SPs, maybe they will take over Scientology. It's not how you run from an SP, it's PTSP, how to shut down and hide from suppression. The curtain.
That's right. We know it is not confront and shatter suppression, which is what basically, what was it? The potential trouble source course, the actual title is to confront and shatter suppression. Oh, I'm telling you, it's just too much sometimes because it's just the opposite. And I just love that this little creature here nailed it. I'm going to have links down below to every video, every article that we're going to look at and touch on today. So after this stream, you can go on and go down that rabbit hole and check it out. It's hilarious. Isn't it, Jess? I thought that was so funny. Eric Rader, good to see you. Aloha and welcome. Welcome to the chat. Let's see here. Steeler with RSD. How's your boyfriend Xenu? Still treating you like a queen, like the queen you deserve? Yes, we're new in the relationship. And if you're not up to speed, I am dating retired galactic overlord Xenu. Scientology has talked a lot of smack about him, but more truth is going to come out about what really happened 76 trillion years ago. Turns out, big surprise, spoiler alert, it is not what Scientology told us. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out, because we're going to be talking more about that. But yes, if he wasn't treating me like a queen, he would not still be around. And let's be honest, dating a retired galactic overlord does have its perks. He's offered to take me off planet, but I said, you know what? I'm not ready for that. Like, this is new. I don't know that I'm ready for like a weekend together, that kind of a thing. So I'm really just playing the long game. I'm taking my time. He knows that, hey, I am far from, I don't even know that I want to only date him. I told him I might want to, he knows that I'm on the Scientology dating site too, but he also knows that that's my attempt to get people out of Scientology. More on that too. Kelly Copter and I are going to do an update about that soon. Susan, Natalie, great live with Reese yesterday. Thank you. I'm so glad that you caught it. If you guys didn't catch it, it's a video we did last night. We got into all kinds of things and I found it so incredibly helpful. It's always helpful when we're able to speak to other ex-Scientologists and kind of dissect these things, our experiences, and even our experience today. And having you guys in the chat being part of that conversation is absolutely amazing. I think that really, really takes it to another level for us. I know for me, because of all the amazing feedback and points of view that you have. Jamie says, Natalie, I loved your Reese with. Did I just read that one? Anyways, thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for being here. And you can catch it on my channel under live. It's the last video I did last night with her. And yeah, it was fantastic. I really love the chat. Okay, let's take a look at something here. Do you guys remember when anybody here watch Dancing with the Stars? I've actually never really watched it. I don't watch a lot of network television anymore, it feels like. I don't even know if Dancing with the Stars is still around. But there was this article about some of the behind the scenes drama on Dancing with the Stars. And guess what? There is a little tidbit about Kirsty Ali, who is no longer with us. She passed away from cancer. And, as you guys know, Scientologists, senior Scientologists, way up the bridge to total freedom. What was she operating Thetan level 7, maybe 8? I don't know. Does anyone actually remember? Can you throw it in the chat? Hey, MD Media 18, we're going to be looking at a clip of yours too. Oh, I'm excited about that one. Anywho, here's the deal. She was on Dancing with the Stars back in the day, and apparently in true Kirsty Ali style, she made it about Scientology. So we're going to take a look at this a little bit of a look at this article here. Dancing with the Stars pros revealed that celeb partners they disliked. One celeb alleges she was slapped. Another claims Scientology drove a wedge. Well, I immediately knew who that was because that I'm aware of, that I can recall. Again, I don't watch the show, but I don't remember another Scientologist being on. So I knew it was her. Sure enough, here it is. Listen to this. So she was partnered with Maxim. They do a professional dancer and then a celebrity. And it was Kirsty Ali. The pair competed together in season 12 as well as the All-Star season. They seemed to be friends, but he revealed Scientology happened. And that's a quote. Scientology happened. In 2014, Mox said on WWHL, she stopped getting along with me. We had a great relationship, but I got a message now that I'm associating with other people that she can't be associated with. I'm no longer to be spoken with. And sorry, but it is what it is. I think the world of her. I'm not judging people by their religion. I'm Jewish. I don't really believe in science fiction, but whatever. After he made these comments, so, right, what he's saying, obviously he must have been connected to some type of suppressive person, somebody speaking out against Scientology, maybe former Scientologists, right? So how does she respond to this? She tweets, "Dear sir, after you have AR'd me, there is really no reason to include, I wish you the best. It's rhetorical." What does that even mean? This is a response from a Scientologist, right? And this is something that we've seen multiple times with celebrities. And here's the deal. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the celebrities are trained to do that. They're trained to automatically, if you're supporting someone who's speaking out about Scientology or you're speaking out against Scientology, you're a criminal. You're doing something just bizarrely sexual. It is their response. Jenna Elfman's done it. We've seen multiple Scientologists over the years in the media giving this type of response. What in the world, though? I'm telling you, it's crazy. Yep, David Bruce, shun, shun, shun. Yeah, disconnect, right? Anna, disconnection doesn't happen, right? Yeah, completely. Jess, ew, gross. Who's intolerant now? Yeah. So she disconnects from him because of somebody he's connected to, which is typical Scientology. And then that's her response. It's just, and then Scientologists wonder why people see Scientology as a cult. It's because of responses like that, actions like that. It's so out of left field and non sequitur. It doesn't even make sense. Anyways, I caught that and I was like, oh my goodness, this is just too much. Too much indeed. Hey, Kelly, good morning. Morning, humans and or intergalactic forever beings. Thank you for being so inclusive. My partner, Xenu, as you know, really appreciates that, being that we are having an interplanetary relationship. I love that. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, let's take a look now at a little bit. There's a little bit of new Real Housewives of New York Scientologist Rebecca Minkoff news, just a little bit. So, a recent episode came out of the Real Housewives of New York, and Rebecca Minkoff reveals the unconventional deal she made with her parents at 16 involving drugs and sex. Here's the thing. Rebecca Minkoff, you guys, many of you know, but if you're new to the channel, her father is Dr. David Minkoff, and he was involved in the death of two Scientologists, very much tied to them not getting mental health treatment. And yes. So let's take a look at this. Look, Marilyn, you're saying it right. Wow. Why do Scientologists seem to always go right for the jugular? Yeah, because never defend, always attack. Never defend, always attack. Remember that. It's a mindset in Scientology. And sometimes for people, it's hard to let go of. I mean, Kirsty Ali was still in Scientology when she said that. But this mindset that you have to attack, 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 and never defend, always attack. It's what L. Ron Hubbard said to do. It's right out of the playbook. So she shares, this is Rebecca Minkoff, the fashion designer, also told her fellow housewives she still had the bed she lost her virginity on when she was a teen. So the famed fashion designer, 42, was filling in her cast members about how she ended up in New York when she revealed an unconventional pact she made with her parents when she was just a teen. I want to know what you guys think about this. So take away for a minute that she's a Scientologist and all of that, right? Let's just look at it at face value. Rebecca recalled how her plans to move to the Big Apple were almost thwarted when she and her ex broke up just days before they were supposed to move in together when she was 18. The Bravo Liberty, I think it's so funny they call them that, who had been living in Florida at the time, was out of a place to live as she had promised her previous residence to her high school boyfriend, Brad. That's very specific. So I lost my virginity to Brad, Rebecca shared with the housewives, sounded off about her ex. So we like Brad. I lost my virginity at 16 because my parents had a really great deal. They said, if you don't do drugs, we'll get you birth control pills. And I was like, sign me up. So I think that's very interesting. So you guys tell me, is this weird? Is this in your, whether being raised by parents or being a parent? What do you think about this deal? Her co-stars reacted in shock and shared they didn't think the parenting choice was normal. When Jenna Lyons asked if she would give her daughter, Bowie, 9, if she would give her the same deal, she replied, I'd make that deal with her. In a conversation with cameras, Jenna reflected on her own relationship with her son, Bennett, and whether or not she'd allow him the same opportunity as Rebecca's parents. So what do you guys think about that? If you don't do drugs, I will get you birth control. Okay, so I'm seeing it's weird. That's just gross. Okay, gross. Jess says it's gross. Tim says birth control meds are also drugs. Yep, me and Taz says, but that's a drug. It's in Scientology, it's not seen as a drug. It's not one of the drugs that you will get in trouble for. You can take birth control, you can take antibiotics. I mean, you can even take Advil and Tylenol on occasion, but it's most Scientologists will really even stay away from that and cold medicine. I mean, some take it to an extreme. There's kind of a spectrum of that in Scientology. With the drugs you cannot take are the mind-altering ones in Scientology. So any of the fun ones. But you also no psychiatric drugs, nothing, especially if it's prescribed by a psychiatrist, then absolutely not. So let's see what you guys think about this. Okay, so Rika says, I think it's disgusting. Steelers with RSD, that's so not normal. Danielle, you can do birth control and then do drugs. Yeah, I'm just not, I'm not totally 100% clear on how even I feel about that because, as a parent, sometimes we wheel and deal and we make deals and agreements with our kids. I think, and it's, I hate to say it like, oh, I hate to judge other parents, but I'm about to judge her as a parent. If you say, okay, if you don't do drugs, I'll provide birth control. I don't know, on one level, what if they are experimenting or you know what I'm saying? Or trying something? Would they then not take the deal and not get the birth control? Also, they can get it on their own. I mean, you go to Planned Parenthood, I think even underage, there's a variety of birth control and things that you can get. So I think it's such a personal decision, but it rings, there's something about it that feels very strange. H. Hendricks says sex addiction and loss of self-worth can be as bad or worse than drugs. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is a great point, actually. That is a really good point. I didn't think about it like that. And Vanessa, great point too. Yep, smoking like a chimney. That's totes acceptable. Exactly. In Scientology, smoke all the cigarettes and tobacco you want because L. Ron Hubbard said it is not tobacco. It is not cigarettes that causes cancer. It's not smoking enough. I mean, it's ridiculous. You guys know that. Let's see what else y'all saying here. Coffee, cult, and crafts. Marilyn says teaching your teen about birth control and teaching them about drugs are two different issues. Very weird, although so is purity culture. Yes, that's true. That's true. And do you avoid the conversation? Do you, and that's the stuff we don't know, right? She's still doing drug education with her kids? Or is it like, well, anything goes sexually at your age, as long as you're not doing drugs while you're doing it? I don't know. I don't know how well that's going to work. Hey, Church of Scientology. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys don't know, Church of Scientology does some really hilarious, what do you call it? Is it like it's AI? Because there is a word for it where it's a deep fake. Is doing deep fake videos with David Miscavige, and it's kind of hilarious, but go check out that channel. David Bruce says, okay, honey, if you want to be a druggie, how about being a promiscuous mess? Yeah, just don't know. It is, but it is interesting. And this is why I wanted to get your guys' take on it, because when I was raising my kids, I was still in Scientology until my youngest was maybe he was well into his teens from that point. And when I got together with my Tony years ago, his kids were younger. My kids were pretty much grown at that point, but he had younger kids. And I know how I worked with him to parent his kids was different from how I parent my kids. Number one, because they were more like my stepkids and I didn't get involved in discipline. They had two parents for that. I got to do the fun stuff, but help with a lot of homework as well. And it was different because I had shed a lot of that Scientology mentality. So, but some of it, I'm still questioning. So thank you for sharing your comments about that. And if you're on the replay, please jump in the comments and let me know what you think about that, because I want to know. I want to know. Atkinson, Texas, why make it a deal? Just parent. That's a great point too. Why not have like a conversation maybe about both? I don't know. But keep telling me your thoughts on that, because I truly am. I'm interested. Scientology Audit, Streets LA, William Good. I just love this short, and apparently many of you do as well, because multiple people sent this to me, where he spotted Scientologists. Okay, so outside of the blue buildings in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, there's Kaiser, there's the big hospital, there's all kinds of medical facilities, and Scientology body routers have been seen going into these hospitals. Now, is it to escape people who are live streaming, or is it to go in and recruit? Here's my concern about that. Several months ago, Diane, my favorite Scientology spy, as we used to call her, because she leaked some great info. She's got a channel called More Fun Than Sitting at Home here on YouTube. Diane had never been in Scientology, but she had gotten involved with the volunteer ministers through an interfaith community in her community that she was involved in, because she wants to help people. And Scientology, that she was on the email list for a long time. And what Scientology was doing is they were sending out names, hospital locations of people in the hospital, asking Scientology volunteer ministers to go in and give them assists that they do. No comment about like, have they already agreed to this? Is this going to be okay? None of that. They were just given the information. Here's the person, here's their medical condition, here's the assist they probably need. So it makes me nervous. I got to be honest, when Scientology recruiters are going in and out of hospitals, because it makes me think, is that what they're doing again? I don't know. Anyways, let's take a look at this short from Scientology Audit Streets LA.
Look at him run. What are you running for? You guys out here recruiting trying to run away. You got to duck into Kaiser. Look at them. Look at the Scientologists trying to come out here and recruit. Look at them hiding in Kaiser, using Kaiser. The cult members coming through, cult members, Scientology cult members.
Let them know in the hospital. Like I said, makes me nervous. They're not in their volunteer minister shirts, but still. It's very culty. I don't know. Does it make anybody else nervous? Aloha, SP Crusader. Aloha, everybody who's popping in. Make sure you go show that like button, a little bit of aloha as we go along here. Hit your subscribe as well. All right, let's take a look now. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are hightailing it out of the United States. They've had it. They've just had it with Hollywood. I've had it with Hollywood. That's how I imagine that they actually say it. I don't know how it actually is, but they have had it. They have had it with Hollywood. They're gone. They can't take it anymore. Oh, really? So you're moving to Europe all of a sudden? All of a sudden? Is this really happening? It has nothing to do with one scandal after another with, you know, your connection to Danny Masterson. And then there's the whole Diddy fiasco. Let's take a look at let's see. This is from a comedian. You got to see this. This is so hilarious. This is her thoughts on this whole situation with Ashton and Mila and what's happening.
Ashton and Mila are saying, goodbye, USA. We're going over to Europe. We're the Roman Polanski's Rome. This is like the most suspicious thing you could do. The most. This is like when I see a couple's shared account on social media, you know, with just one name, Mandy and Ryan. It's like, okay, well, somebody cheated.
That is so true. Or sometimes, you know, people who are much older will share an account, but it still makes you wonder.
Somebody cheated. That's what's going on here. This is like if your friend was being accused of sexual assault and about to be imprisoned, and you wrote a note to the judge begging them to let him free because he has a daughter. This is like that. You know, it's what? Nothing says, I just went to those white parties for the free liquor and did not see anything or do anything weird with the diddler, like moving to Europe. Like immediately moving to Europe. I like that they've just had it with Hollywood. They've just had it.
Yep, they have just had it. They've had it. It's just too much. It's just so convenient. And now that they're just done with it. Tennessee Treasure Finder, are they going somewhere without an extradition agreement? I don't know. I don't actually know where they're going, but it's very sus, right? Don't we all think that's just a little bit like, what? Are you really? Are you really? Are you moving all of a sudden out of the country? Are you fleeing? What's happening here? You gonna go join Roman Polanski? I mean, what is the deal? What is the deal? Jess says, oh, okay, Ashton, we totally believe you. And also we don't care. Just bye. James still says, run away, run away. Fancy face. That's big sus, right? Yeah, it is. Club Brain Fog says, there is a song, Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Is this what's going to happen? There's just going to be this mass fleeing of people who you know, mainly the people who were involved in these Diddy parties, that they're just going to like all suddenly have this desire to explore Europe and other countries and move now out of the United States. I don't know. It's very sus. It absolutely is. Yep, Magnus, I think you're right. Ashton fleeing the country, not suspicious at all. No, that's not weird. It's just a move, right? It's just, you know, yeah, exactly. Just all of a sudden. All right, now let's go to Hollywood. Let's go to LA. I guess we were already there with the other clip. But Audit LA went to Karen Bass, LA mayor's office, to file a complaint and withdraw a thank you that she had given her. Take a look at this.
L. Ron Hubbard Way was opened up and the fire lanes were opened up. So I gave her the credit for that. But 2 days later, it's back to how it was. It's back to being closed. It's back to no fire lanes. And it's back to them even being more aggressive lying to the police, saying that a protester who was actually encouraging their people in a nice way that they deserve better than what they're going through, and bringing in the police saying that he's a man assaulting somebody when he was in no way assaulting. There's so much video, the video was rolling the whole time. And the police came with that very aggressive. I thought that the person was going to be harmed physically because of how aggressive. So not only do they feel empowered that they can.
She just does an amazing job. And I agree with all of your comments there that I pulled up. She's doing amazing work there. And Church of Scientology says, any OSA staff watching, I have it on good authority that Captain Davey Miscavige has authorized you to take the rest of the day off. I agree. We should make it official. Oh my God, where's my, oh. He's still on the floor from yesterday. Okay, David Miscavige, join us, please. Could you wake up your Office of Special Affairs? Office of Special Affairs, rise and shine, my lovelies. It is another beautiful day out here in the world of exposing Scientology. This is your leader, David Miscavige, and I agree. I say take the rest of the day off, because wait till you see the clips we have coming up. Not just how Scientology is being exposed, up in multiple ways. What the protesters are catching on camera is probably going to blow your mind. You'd be like, we can't even keep track of the sheer number of inches of negative press, which is our statistic that we have to keep track of. I don't know how you're keeping track of any of it, because there's so much of it, especially with what we're about to take a look at. And we're going to get to a bunch of stuff, including how Aaron Smith-Levin is being attacked. So let's take a look at a couple things here. Let's go over to MD Media 18. Check this out. First off, MD Media, I know you're here in the chat. What are you using for a camera? Because dang, this is the clearest footage I've ever seen at the Blue Buildings. This has to be 4K. So MD Media 18, what's happening? I've never seen. I'm going to show you guys this. You guys got to see it. You got to see it. Let me show you. You can really see the faces of people and stuff. I mean, wait till you see how clear this is. So, okay, so MD Media 18 says, it's my Samsung Galaxy S24. Holy moly, I've just never seen it so clear. I have not. Okay, so let's take a look at this, and especially any of my ex-Scientology, former Sea Org friends, keep an eye on the people in here who you might recognize, because their family might be looking for them. And MD Media makes it very clear that there are family looking for very specific Sea Org members. But you guys might recognize Office of Special Affairs. I know you'll recognize them, because let's be real, there's hardly anybody left. But let's take a look at this.
Any of you guys seen Phil Anderson telling his daughter Megan Anderson's looking for him? Also, Jared Gill and Ben Francis, their families love them and miss them as well. Mike and Emily Jones, you seen them? Emily is Emily Jones Goodwin. That is her married name. So we got Ben Francis, Bob Ferris, Mike and Emily Jones, Phil Anderson, and Jared Gill. All very important people, and their families miss and love them. Looking for Ben Francis, Jared Gill, Mike and Emily Jones, Phil Anderson. Phil Anderson works in the galley. He's been here for 50 years. His daughter's Megan Anderson. You guys are all loved. Nothing against you guys personally. Just know we are here for you anytime you want to leave.
Okay, this is just sad. Where's the receptionist to come open the door for this person too, who's struggling to get in there, who's elderly? The reception desk is right beyond those doors, you guys. There's somebody sitting right there watching the door. Oh, you know what? I should not prejudge. Maybe he or she at reception gets up and helps the person in. I should let it play out. I'm jumping to conclusions. My apologies.
Terrible. They won't even help her. You guys should do better and help your elderly. Open the door for her. That's not very kind of you guys.
That is not okay. And the reception desk is right there. Okay, so I can totally be judgy on that, because that is exactly what happened. Oh, it's just so sad. It's Mike Sandoval, door tech. Yep. Mary Reno. Oh, the poor lady. Yeah, absolutely. MD Media 18 says, I'll keep that name, but I'm thinking of new names for my second channel. Okay, cool. So you're doing a second channel. I got to make sure I go and subscribe to that. So MD Media, then did you pre-record this video and upload it? Is that why it was so clear? Because you weren't live streaming? Is that what you mean by static? I'm curious. Let me know. Let me know. Let's see. Buttercup 49, I'm with you. The person trying to get in broke my heart. Yes, I agree. Okay, so he says, yes, I pre-recorded it. Okay, it's fabulous. It's fantastic because you can see the faces so clear of the Sea Org members. That's really going to help identify some people. Thank you so much for doing that. Kelly says, and we can help them because if we touch the door, they come. Oh, and I think you're saying you can't help them because if we touch the door, they come for us with destruction of property or similar. That is so true. And that's sad as well. It's Mike Sandoval. They can't install automatic door for the elderly. Oh, no, they're not trying to do that. You got to remember, my friend, Scientology, per L. Ron Hubbard's exact words, Scientology is to help the able become more able. Yeah. So if you can't get a door open, that's just not our fault. It's not. You're just not able enough. But if you have enough credit cards on you, we will at least stand there and watch you. And then maybe if you fall while getting in the door, we'll do something about it. It's ridiculous, completely ridiculous. All right, where am I? Where are we? Okay, let's go to North Hollywood. Do you guys remember? I think it was yesterday, could have been the day before. We were talking about Scientology in North Hollywood had the nerve to host, this blew my mind, a mental health day. So mental health day was like last Thursday. I think it was like on October 10th. It is a thing, mental health day. Scientology in North Hollywood did some kind of mental health day event. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. They did. And they're promoting the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, which is Scientology's front group to eradicate Scientology. It's literally their mission to eradicate psychiatry. Did I say Scientology? They are doing that in the process too, but it's to eradicate psychiatry. Valid forms of mental health treatment to get rid of it. This is one of Scientology's front group. They dedicate man hours, time, money to eradicate valid forms of mental health. Then on mental health, actually after mental health day, because it was last week, they host an event about mental health. I just cannot with these people. But I know that I think Audit LA was out there and Becky was out there. Let's take a look at a little clip because I do believe it was Pincha Becky who was filling in some people on what's happening with Scientology right in their neighborhood.
The FBI is fully aware. It wasn't until recently that our justice system decided to start actually paying attention. Danny Masterson went to prison, and that was a huge win. The FBI is.
Yeah, I'm going to link the whole thing down below so you can see it. They actually had a really good conversation. Eric Rader says, thank you, Matt, for being kind to the public staff and Sea Org members. That is how you make a difference and win a PR war. Thank you, Eric. I agree. And William Good, who kicked off these protests last year, says the same thing over and over again, that it's a PR battle. That's why some of his recommendations are to bring the community along, support the local businesses, try to keep it family friendly. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, let's see. Now let's go over to Texas, to Austin, where Miss Kim was on fire. Okay, not like literally burning on fire, but it's like, as the Gen Z says, it was fire. It was so fire. You're not going to believe what she came across. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. Let's take a look at this. She shows up at Scientology in Austin while they're out there with their Dianetics table. And here's what happened.
All the people that have escaped, you guys, that you probably don't even know about. So you guys don't make very much money, but David Miscavige drives a $200,000 Bentley and gets Italian handmade shoes. Oh, it's true. We saw him. All you got to do is go on YouTube. There's a camera at least 100 orgs every day now. And what's funny is they're probably telling you you're down stat, but you have more people going in and out than any of the other ones do. Dallas can't even turn on all their lights because they're not making enough money.
That is so true. That is the situation with a lot of these ideal organizations. Scientology has Scientologists donate all this money, buy these buildings, pay for all of the renovations, and then they can't afford it. They can't afford the utility bills. Just think about these huge buildings. They're having to use air conditioning. Texas is hot. And other places where they will need to heat it, like here in the Twin Cities during a Minnesota winter. That's a lot of money. And because these organizations, this is a scam, it's a land grab, it's a way for Scientology to build up this real estate portfolio. They're not actually making a difference in their communities. There's not so many more people coming in. And each ideal organization thinks they are the only one that is struggling and having issues, because Scientology at their propaganda events, that's all they show them, is making it look like Scientologists are just like flocking in, that there's so much new Scientology happening, and there's not. We saw in Chicago the other day with Windy City Thetan Watch. He walked in on them doing exactly that, doing some video and photos, making it look like people were lined up to come into Scientology. They're filming their propaganda videos to make it look like they're all doing great, so that Miss Kim is letting them know, hey, just so you know, you're not the only one. You guys aren't doing great, but you're still the busiest of all Scientology orgs we're seeing not doing great. So it was amazing. It goes on.
You really should go on YouTube. Because if you had 30 million members, that's 210,000 per org. I see the same 20 people going in and out all the time here. Now let's say you only had 1 million members. That's 7,000 per org. I don't see 7,000 people coming in and out of here.
I mean, that's math. That's basic math. And it is something that Scientologists will completely push away and not have it come into any type of logic, because they're not allowed to talk about, wait a minute, what? If we're supposed to have 7,000 Scientologists, like, where are they? What's happening? They're not allowed to question like that. If they do, they'll get in trouble. Scientology will say, you know what, you're going to get an interrogation, a security check, because you're spreading enemy lines that Scientology is not busy and nobody's coming in. Scientology calls that an enemy line. The rest of us call it reality.
You really should go on YouTube and look. That's what brought me to this, was YouTube. Ex-members telling their stories. Check it out. Go on YouTube. Look for any of us.
She just shut it down. They would have stayed there for who knows how long if nobody showed up to shut it down. So thank you, Miss Kim, out in Austin, for shutting down Scientology recruitment about as fast as they can get it put up there. Auditing Scientology Kansas City. Mike, you can catch him in front of Kansas City definitely on Thursdays and sometimes the first Friday of the month. Don Brown says all the missions. So Don Brown is a Scientologist in Kansas City who I actually knew in the Twin Cities. He knew my mother. He knew the 3 generations of my family. And when we left, he immediately disconnected. He was one of the people letting people know, hey, just so you know, Donna Gale and Natalie and her family, they're no longer in good standing with Scientology. That's always been interesting to me. Scientologists don't say they left. Oh, they left Scientology. More often they say they're no longer in good standing with the org, because that communicates it differently. That's not saying, hey, Natalie woke up, came to her senses and made like a banana and split. No, it's saying that I must have done something to cause myself to no longer be in the good graces of Scientology. And I did. It's called leaving Scientology. And then I doubled down by talking about it. And remember, if you're in Kansas City, Mike, and you see Don Brown again, when you mention my name, he knew me as Natalie Hagamo. That was my married name. He might not recognize me as Natalie Webster, because he's probably not watching my channel. And he probably has me blocked on social media. But if you say Natalie Hagamo, he might recognize that more. Yeah, good point, Jess. Yeah, no one is allowed to spend the money. Only little Davy holds the purse strings. Yep, he's making all of that stuff, just hoarding all of it. Yep, Bina, you can't ignore empty orgs. That's the thing. That's why this is so valuable to have people outside Scientology orgs just on the internet going, oh, look, here's what's happening. Nothing. It's crickets. Nothing is happening because people under the radar who might be thinking, you know what, maybe it's just my organization. It's just me. It's just my family. It's just Scientology where I am. No. Scientology everywhere is not expanding. What you're seeing is what is actually happening. And it is crickets. This is what you hear when you walk into a Scientology organization. This is actual sound footage from the Austin org. Oh, this one sounds like it's from Kansas City. Just crickets. Nothing is happening. Nothing. And that Austin is one of the busier ones, yet there's still hardly any happening. That just says a lot. It says a lot. Sassy Savage, Natalie, are you wearing a Aloha Snuggie shirt? I love it. Oh, thank you. It's not. It's a shirt. Tony got this for me years ago. I don't know why it keeps going so far back and choking me, but that seems to be happening today. But thank you. It's very comfortable. I love it. What is a Snuggie, though? What is a Snuggie shirt? You got to tell me now because Sassy Savage, I don't know what that is, but I feel like I want to know. I don't know what it is, but now I want it. All right, let's now go over to Cubs champion. Oh my gosh, you guys, he was out basically cleaning up Scientology's mess. Let's be honest. Cleaning up Scientology's mess. He has got such a good relationship too with people in the area. Watch this. And this is Cubs champion over in Boston.
Mind if I take this propaganda off here, man? You guys don't need the Scientology bullshit.
Yeah, they keep.
I know. I collect them. It's good to see you guys. How y'all doing, man? Y'all working hard? Yeah, of course, man. You know me protesting these fools.
Yeah, good game, bro.
Yeah, no, that's what I do when I get here. I know. That's what I was telling Chad. I'm like, yo, man, it's being littered out here because no one wants this crap, man. That's why I pick them up and then throw them away myself. Yeah, man. All right, you guys have a good one, man. Don't work too hard, guys. Is this one of y'all cars too or no?
Yeah.
Got you, bro. I'm telling you, I'm going to take them off all of them.
Just collecting up the Scientology propaganda right there. And it is so great to always see the reaction to people who do get it. They are not down with it. They are not here for this. They are not having it. It is garbage. It is just garbage. Yes, antics of a mama squirrel. Cub has been consistently great. I would agree. He's out there. He even helps the staff. The other day, he reminded one of them when he was locking up, hey, your sign, you got to put the sign away. I mean, it's just awesome. I love it. And thank you guys for filling me in. A Snuggie is a blanket shirt. So blanket shirt, you mean like it goes all the way down? I need this. What? Like a blanket? You know what? I do have like a similar big jacket that's kind of like a blanket. That's why I like ponchos. It's the socially acceptable way to wear a blanket in public. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If I could stay in my robe all the time, do my grocery shopping, everything, I feel like I'd be happy. So a Snuggie blanket shirt, I need this in my future. I need to find some. Jess, paper under your wiper blade is so last century, right? I know. I was like, are we really still doing this? But Scientology is. Same way that they're still handwriting letters to people who bought a book in 1964 after a drunken night out and thought it'd be fun to do a personality test. And they're now well into their, how old would they be? Well, I'm not gonna do math right now, but however long, they're still getting letters from Scientology. You could move 5 times and Scientology will find you. Because I always say this, being on a Scientology mailing list is like herpes. It just does not go away. It just pops up when you least expect it. It is incredibly difficult to get off of unless you get declared a suppressive person. That is a quick way to get off that Scientology mailing list. Sam says, basically a comforter, poncho, hoodie. Yeah, I am down. That is like, sign me up, take my money. Yes, yes. If you can wear blankets and it looks like clothes, I am all for it. I am all for it. Okay, now let's look at something else that Cubs Champion saw. You guys know how, I don't know what it is, and I'm not trying to say all Scientologists have trouble driving, but we do see it often in these videos from live streamers and protesters outside Scientology. So I'm not saying it, it's just what it looks like, which is, I guess I am saying it. He's stuck. What do you call this? Like a 19-point turn? Just he had to go back and forth and back and forth. Like we're jumping in. He was already well into doing that.
Oh, it's Crustacean's buddy.
This is so embarrassing. I think that's his little Scientology uniform. So he might be a staff member. Oh, this is cringe. I can't take it. Oh, he's making it. Is he going to make it? Ooh, maybe not. Almost. Nope. Got to back up again. This goes on for a while. But another thing that Cubs Champion, sees, and we've seen it on so many videos. What is up with that? I don't know. The bad drivers, I don't get it. You know what, Sassy Savage, I think you're right. Bad drivers, or are they that scared of SPs that they get nervous? That could be it. That could be it. I've been in that position where I've gotten nervous while driving, especially after I've done something dumb. Like this one time, I went to South Dakota with my kids, my neighbor, her kids. We went on this camping trip. I had a Suburban at the time. We had stuff piled up on the top. It was just us, two moms taking our kids camping in South Dakota. And we went to Deadwood. Now, I didn't realize at the time it was the same time as Sturgis, which had I known, we might have just kind of like planned around it just because it was really crowded and stuff. And I go into this parking garage and I get us stuck because, I had all the stuff on the top of the car and I forgot and I'm stuck there and I'm so embarrassed. Nobody can get by. And you know who helped us? A bunch of bikers. Came over. Hey, you need some help, helped back us out, helped get us out of there. We're super kind. And I was like, actually, then I was kind of happy that we were there around Sturgis. That was just kind of cool. But my point, though, is, you make a mistake, you get nervous. It can just, compound the bad driving. All right, let's see here. Let's go to L. Ron Hub Cult. Look at this. They are back out it again in Denmark because Scientology could not get a restraining order on them.
If there is nobody, I can, right? It's like whatever.
So he's in Denmark protesting again, and the police come up and, they're just chatting about what's happening because Scientology called the police because they can't get the restraining order. So now if they show up, they're just going to call the police, even though nothing's going to happen.
That's the thing. It's sort of a fine line because you're not allowed to record inside of people's,
bedroom and stuff. But this is an organization. This is an office. Nobody ever uses it. So.
Yeah, he holds his ground on it. I'm going to link the whole thing below. Go ahead and check it out. And something else that happened in Denmark, let's take a look at a clip from Scientology Up North, who was heading to meet L. Ron Hub Cult and ran into somebody. Ooh, this is scary, you guys. Well, listen to her tell the story and then we'll talk about it.
Remember the guy who said he was going to kill me? I almost said, there was the Scientologist, the cuckoo one. He was in the metro when I was on my way here. And I accidentally almost sat next to him. And I got a little bit scared there. So I went to the other end and hid myself. Hi, Irish smart. Yeah. So clearly he has got some kind of powers on me, but it's not OT powers because he's not OT, is he?
No. He was clear, I think. And he couldn't go further up because he became PTS type 3.
Now, PTS type 3 is potential trouble source type 3. That means you have had a break with reality. You've had a psychotic break. And Scientology will not let you do Scientology auditing except for a very specific handling created by L. Ron Hubbard. Same handling was used on Lisa McPherson, and we all know how that turned out. That is all the person can do. So he's basically saying this unhinged individual who threatened to kill her, who reached the state of clear in Scientology on their bridge to total freedom. How is it? How is it you running around threatening people? If you're clear, you're supposed to have no reactive mind, which means you are not reactionary. You're not your cause. your cause over your reactive mind. You realize that you're the one creating it and you're not going to do it anymore. You're not going to be banky. Yet this guy's running around threatening to harm people like that. What is up with that? It just makes no sense. But again, this is an example of what is really happening in Scientology and what really are the results of Scientology when applied. As L. Ron Hubbard said, this is kind of the stuff that happens. The way they fight valid mental health treatment. You have people, not everyone in Scientology has mental illness, but some do, like any other place or group of people. And they're not getting proper mental health care, and they're being encouraged to get off their meds if they're on them for mental health. So if you're on an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety, bipolar medication, yeah, they have a long history of trying to get people to stop taking those things. All right, now let's jump topics here and let's talk about Aaron Smith-Levin and how he is currently under attack. I don't know if y'all saw his video yesterday. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to look at a couple pieces from the video, but there are some crazy things going on. A few weeks ago, I was in Clearwater and we all were going down to Miami to greet many people from this community who went on a cruise and had a fabulous depressive time, including even trolling Scientology's ship, the Free Winds, when they pulled up next to them, which was absolutely epic, completely epic. But some shenanigans went down on the way there. When we drove to Miami, I was in a different car. I was in the car with Sandy McKenna and surrounded by Scientology as George. And we were exactly 26 minutes ahead of Aaron, Jenna, and his kids. So when we pulled up to the hotel, in fact, we had just pulled up and we got the call from Aaron that this accident had happened. So it is one of a couple of strange things that has been happening lately. So let's take a look at this and we are going to talk about it. All right, let's see.
Before I show you the footage, you have to realize, I don't know how many of you guys caught what I posted here. I'm already a little bit on edge the last couple weeks. A couple weekends ago, me, Jenna Miscavige, my 3 daughters were on our way down to Miami to meet up with a whole bunch of beautiful SPs that had flown into Miami for a cruise. And we were going down there to basically be the welcoming committee, welcoming them back from the cruise. And about 30 to 45 minutes outside of Miami, we were rear-ended by a private investigator driving a rental car who may or may not have been working for Scientology. Just for the hell of it, guys, just so you kind of get a sense of what's been going on the last couple weeks, here's the footage of the PI not even hitting his brakes before rear-ending us on I-95 South. Check this out. This is the camera from my car. Front camera on the left, back camera on the right. Traffic comes to a boom. There you go, folks. That's with all 3 of my daughters in the backseat of the car. So if it's one thing if he was just a private investigator, a guy who just happened to be a private investigator and was driving his private vehicle. No, he just happens to be a private investigator driving a rental car who then gave a bogus story to the police officer, hired a lawyer, and tried to file a claim against my insurance. Now, if that doesn't reek of suspicion, I don't know what does, you guys.
Isn't it weird? It's very weird. Here's the other thing. When we were in Miami, we were playing a game in this, what's called the library at this one hotel with some of the people from the cruise. We were playing Cards Against Humanity. And there was a guy in there who was sitting there with his camera like this, facing him, and everybody was behind him. I walk in and some of the ladies from the cruise are there and I'm like, hey, what's up with dude over there with the camera? And they're like, oh, he's just like an influencer, just videoing stuff. No. If you're doing a video like that, you're holding your camera like this. And why is it that he's getting everybody in the background? I could see it on his phone. It was not focused on him. And then when we were playing the game, he was sitting across the hall at a table, just with his camera on the table like this, pointed right at us. And then I kind of leaned forward like, and then he left a little bit after that. It's that's kind of to be expected to a degree when suppressive people gather. I don't know what Scientology thinks they're going to gain. I mean, we're there playing a game, having fun, chilling, hanging out. But you know what? They're going to try. So listen to more of this.
Okay, now let's look at the footage of the 3 extremely high-level Sea Org members getting ambushed by a bunch of dirty DB criminal SPs.
Okay, see, Feral Cheryl, the weekend prior, we had a guy filming us on his phone while we were in the library. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly the same thing that happened, Cheryl. So the week prior is when they left for the cruise. And Aaron went out there and spent time with all of them. He drove like 4 or 5 hours, spent time with them, then drove right back to Clearwater. And then the following weekend, we decided, hey, let's all go, because I already have my trip planned to Clearwater. Let's go down to Miami. Let's meet these people. And I'm so glad we did, because it was so much fun. So that's interesting, Cheryl. I wonder if it was the same guy or if they used somebody else. And there were some questionable people in the pool as well who were circling. I don't know if you were with us when we were in the pool on Saturday. It was really interesting. Really interesting. Okay, let's listen to more.
In Clearwater and running for their lives. Check this out.
So the girl drops his phone and he says, you dropped your phone. And they're all getting back into this van. But the crazy thing is he's going to go on to explain who they are. And it turns out they were, in front of his house. These were Religious Technology Center Sea Org members. These people work directly for David Miscavige and someone from the Commodore's Messenger organization, which is a very senior position. To be driving people around, they have to be a certain kind of people, and they were, and that's what happened. But check this out.
Hurry up, get in there. Come on, guys.
And this footage is from Surrounded by Scientology. You guys also might know him as Clearwater George, but you can find him here on YouTube, Surrounded by Scientology.
My God.
Okay, let's do a blow by blow here. Okay, the gentleman that you see reaching for the back door, that is an RTC staff member, a man, as you can tell. What you can't see behind him is a CMO messenger, a female messenger jumping out of the passenger door. So let's see what happens here. Okay, she just knocks her phone. Now, I was worried because I don't want to be accused of theft or anything like that. I wanted her to know that she lost her phone. Now, check it out. The man tries to reach for the door, the handle of the back door.
This is where it gets a little hilarious.
The door's locked, folks. The door's locked. So as soon as the messenger, to the RTC guy, the messenger is just a lowly messenger. The RTC guy just immediately jumps into the seat that the messenger had been occupying. Okay. Now the messenger is reaching. She's going to find that this door is also locked and panics. Oh, my God.
Run. Hurry up, get in there.
Wow.
Yeah, they do. They're very panicked. And it's so weird because you got to remember, Sea Org members are not allowed to be videotapers shown. Why? Because their families might recognize them. Their families might be like, oh, wait a minute, that's my cousin, that's my dad, that's my uncle, that's my brother, that's my sister. Whatever it is, they are not allowed to be seen. Just a Northern Girl, RTC is Religious Technology Center. That's what David Miscavige is the chairman of the board of. COB, chairman of the board, Religious Technology Center. These are his people. These are totally his people. So what's happening here is the senior RTC, Religious Technology Center staff, so David Miscavige's staff, they're wearing masks while they're in cars because they're so identifiable, because it's such a small world to identify people who, it's very small because you have to meet certain qualifications, not somehow piss off David Miscavige. It's all very sus. Feral Cheryl says, every time I see a white van in Clearwater, I'm suspicious. Yep. Bina, flat tire in front of Aaron's house. What are the odds? You can't tell me they did not pull this in at all. It really shows too an unnecessary fear. But here's the thing. Here's the interesting point that I want to point out to you guys. The fear is not of Aaron. It's not. That's not what the fear is about for them. That's not why they're hustling here, trying to get out of the way. The fear is that David Miscavige is going to find out that they made themselves known they couldn't sneak around, that they were spotted by one of Scientology's worst nightmares, Aaron Smith-Levin, from growing up in Scientology, that this all played out on the internet. They're not afraid of Aaron. They think Aaron's a suppressive person. They think he's scum and a POS. They're afraid of David Miscavige. They're afraid of what's going to happen to them when this hits the internet and it comes out. Like what lower conditions are they going to have to do? Are they going to be sent to the Rehabilitation Project Force? That is what they're afraid of. That's why they're scrambling. That's why their faces are covered. These people work directly for David Miscavige, and he doesn't want people to know who they are. So this was absolutely fabulous, the way that, it all came out. Like, it very much shows how there's no freedom, and how weird does it have to feel too, to be like given that job of, you got to go around, but you have to go around, you got to go around with a mask on in the car. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't. This is I'm wondering about this too, Sam. If they came back to a repaired tire, their mind would be blown, right? But that's the thing. You can't touch it. You can't go anywhere near it, because Scientology will twist that into something else, even if you're trying to help them. But who's going to go and repair the tire? Like, are they going to do it? Did they send a truck to tow it? Like, what happened? I'm going to have to ask Aaron or George if he knows what happened. Justine says, if they don't want to be known, why did they get out of the van? Well, that's the question. Well, they got out of the van. They were in the other car, but then the car got a flat tire and they parked it right in front of Aaron's house, which they know where his house is. Scientology knows exactly where he lives. And then the pickup van was coming. So the Commodore's Messenger Organization, who is a very senior person on that base, but not senior to the Religious Technology Center, she's the one who got out of the car and went to meet the pickup van to take them to where the car was. And then they got in there. She was protecting the Religious Technology Center staff members. They were already wearing masks in the car. So they really don't want to find out. They don't. They do not. No, but it's interesting. And it's interesting to see too, that like, what are you doing? It's just a lot of weirdness going on around him in regard to Scientology. And no doubt there's going to be more. There's going to be more because, Scientology is on brand for them. It is just completely on brand for Scientology to do that. Okay, so I'm going to be back in a little bit this afternoon. In the meantime, hit that like, hit subscribe, set your notification bell to all. Thank you, everybody, for being here. If you see something, say something. If it's Scientology, something culty, email me, Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com. I appreciate it. Aloha, everybody. I hope you all get out and have an amazing cult-free day.